Trigger warning. NSFW content. Weapons. Mentions of blood. Death. Chapter 8. Deep down wishing you were mine. When Aaron opens the door to Kita's house, a faint smile appears on Atsumu's lips. There is something about Ajiro that gives him an incredible calm. It's similar to what Kita radiates but in a different way. It's been a while since I last saw you with blonde hair, Tsumu. Aaron smiles and pulls Atsumu into a greeting hug. Was it when you were 16? When you and Osamu were obnoxious teens? I recall him dyeing his hair gray. Atsumu snorts and raises an eyebrow. Obnoxious teens? Please, Aaron, we were adorable. You had nothing but crap in your minds. And you think that's changed? Not a bit. Aaron laughs and waves Atsumu inside. Come in. Kita's making tea. Atsumu grins mischievously and nods. It's been a while since Atsumu was last at Kita's home, the cedar scent and ancient walls nevertheless just as familiar as they were a year ago. Atsumu stares at Aaron with wide curious eyes, his hands hidden in his red jacket pockets. How's Beneheim? Aaron can't help but smirk and lifts a brow. You miss her? Lots. Aaron's hearty laugh makes Atsumu feel a little more at home. A little more at ease. He's missed it. Kita takes very good care of her. She's still in the library on the left. Go see her as long as Kita is busy. Aaron winks, making Atsumu smile broadly. Thanks, Aaron-kun. Atsumu passes the rooms that have been a second home to him and Osamu for so long. When their mother died, Kita took the twins in, gave them food and a roof over their heads. Then, at 19, the brothers moved out because they didn't want to strain Kita's kindness. Of course, Kita would undoubtedly have taken care of them even longer. Atsumu enters the library and is struck by a surge of nostalgia and delight. He approaches the wall opposite the door, heading for a blade as sharp and beautiful as any that ever existed. There, hanging on the wall is his weapon, oh his beloved katana, gleaming red in the morning hue of the sun. The razor-sharp metal shines, as well as the golden kanji letters that bear the name of Atsumu where the blade meets the black handle. The small full moon charm reflects the sunrise as it quietly dangles from the end of the grip. The black leather sheath leans neatly beneath the weapon against the wall. Indeed, Kita took very good care of his baby. Better than Atsumu ever could. Engulfed in the spell of his katana, Atsumu raises his arm and reaches out until he's stopped by a voice that makes him flinch. Atsumu, Kita says. Atsumu abruptly withdraws his hand and turns around. Kita-san, he gulps, eyes wide. Aaron told me you're here. Yeah, Atsumu clears his throat and nervously rubs the back of his head. Yeah, sorry. Yeah no I wanna return it to ya. Yeah, Atsumu averts his gaze and stares at a random spot on the floor. You showing up with someone whose first choice isn't necessarily knives but guns is. That doesn't mean I use them. Atsumu dares to interrupt him, his gaze snapping up. He swallows thickly and lowers his head apologetically. Sorry. I mean, just because Omi uses guns doesn't mean I use them too. Ever since Osamu went missing, I've never touched another one, Kita-san. I swear. Kita's look is skeptical when Atsumu finds his eyes, and it's honestly quite understandable. Inarizuki's assassins are proud fighters, skilled in wielding knives and swords. The fact that one of them would ever touch a gun is not only unimaginable but also a disgrace. They would resemble too much the ones they deeply despise, Yakuza. So the fact that Atsumu traded his katana, of all things, for a weapon that was used to kill his own mother didn't just infuriate Osamu back then, no. It was the reason why Kita confiscated Atsumu's weapon, to make him realize that he wasn't worthy of it anymore. At least not as long as he doesn't take responsibility for his mistake. Atsumu knows and accepts that. Come on, Kita sighs, turning his back on Atsumu. Suna and Sakusa are already waiting. His stomach churns at the mention of Sakusa's name. A part of Atsumu feared he had gathered his things and headed back to Miyagi. Another bigger part hoped that he was still here. Facing him after the shit Atsumu pulled last night is going to be weird. Yeah. Atsumu clears his throat once again, chancing a glance behind his shoulder to take one last look at his katana. He'll get it back. That's for sure. Let's go. Dash. Miyu Atsumu has no shame. Or at least he pretends not to and doesn't let on that Suna and Sakusa's death stare suffocate him. He knows he acted like shit, but he can't exactly say he's sorry. He was still pissed at Suna for back when he almost kissed him, for yesterday when he reminded him once again that Osamu's disappearance was primarily his fault. Pissed that it should have been him. That Suna still loves Osamu even though he pushed him away. That all of this was for nothing. Rin will always be Atsumu's best friend. It is always easier to show your worst sides to those who are close to you. Suna won't hold that against him. He probably won't even care. Because they are both desperate and will surely hurt each other countless times more while they are looking for Osamu. What matters is that after all, they can always rely on each other and it's something that will never change. That they would always be there for the other, no matter what was or is between them. Because in the end, the only ones they have left are each other. Atsumu has Suna, and Suna has Atsumu. They have known each other for way too long to throw away their friendship because of some foolishness. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅, however, was a different story. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 is his enemy with whom he currently has a truce. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 is an enemy with benefits that so far have been more for Atsumu than for 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 to use. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 is not someone who should make Atsumu's heart beat harder and cause turmoil in his stomach. And he shouldn't give him that look. Full of sorrow and jealousy. Not 𒂂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅. He shouldn't look at Atsumu as if he hurt him. Even if he did, Atsumu shouldn't fucking care. He shouldn't. Doesn't give a shit. They're not friends, they're fucking enemies. So why does it make him so angry that 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 is holding back? Why does it bug Atsumu that 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 might be jealous? Why was he even hoping to coax more out of 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 last night than just a snide comment? What was Atsumu longing for? For 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 to pull him away from Suna? For 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 to pounce on him? For 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 to bend him over the counter and F? Atsumu shuts his eyes and takes a deep breath. When he opens them again, he glances first at his hands, then into Kita's eyes, who's just updating them that the other assassins didn't stumble upon Naruaki yet. Of course, they didn't. Atsumu's thoughts dart back to yesterday night. What the fuck did he expect? In Kita's bar, of all places. In a city full of assassins. In a room that lets 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 know how much they detest him and his way of operating. A man who handles guns. A man who is part of Yakuza. A man who is supposed to be his enemy. The best thing to do is to split up. Kita tears him out of his thoughts when he tells them that Jinjima and Omimi have found traces of Naruaki in Osaka. Since the search has been rather slow and the trio hasn't necessarily worked harmoniously together, Kita has offered some help to find their mark. He sent those assassins who aren't busy elsewhere at the moment. Atsumu didn't necessarily like to accept this help. Except for Suna, no one else should be dragged into his shit. But he quickly realized that locating Naruaki wasn't a dangerous task. Omimi told me you should keep an eye on the situation from afar until Naruaki is alone. He has men around him all the time. He probably suspects that someone has put a bounty on his head. That means we kill his henchmen from a distance so they can't get their hands on us, Suna analyzes. Yes, Kita's look is resolute. Atsumu doesn't suspect anything good. Jin and Omimi can help you if you need reinforce. No, Atsumu interjects, interrupting Kita for the second time today. All eyes are on him. Atsumu gulps. Sorry, Kita-san. No. Jin and Omimi are responsible for guarding Inarizaki. This is mine and Suna's mission, and we got Omi to help us. We can handle it. You can leave Inarizaki to me, Atsumu. And Aaron is here, too. I won't put them in danger too, Kita-san. It's a rarity for Atsumu to disagree with Kita. In this case, however, it's necessary. He cannot put the rest of his family in danger because of the mistakes he has made. With Osamu's disappearance and Suna and Atsumu searching for him, 3 strong fighters are already gone from Inarizaki. Atsumu would be distressed to know that something could happen in here just because he is too incompetent to do a simple job. He has no doubts about Kita or Aaron, not at all. But if something were to happen and there were too many people for them to handle just because Kita sent reinforcements to Atsumu, he wouldn't be able to cope with it. Atsumu has already lost his brother. The thought of losing another innocent family member kills him. And the fact that Naruaki was in Daisho's inner circle doesn't exactly help make this whole mission any less dangerous. Quite the opposite. So no, this is a matter that concerns only Suna and Atsumu, and because of Oikawa, somehow 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 as well. Kita nods. Then please be careful and make sure you work together. Atsumu's gaze snaps to Suna and then to 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅, both still scowling at him but giving Kita a nod. Yeah, we will, the blonde answers with his head hanging low. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅. Suna. Since you two are handling weapons that are usable for long-range targets, you should split up. The two nod. Then Suna says, and since Tsumu and I know our way around Osaka, we should do the same. This time, everyone's eyes snap to Rin, one look more horrified than the other. It would mean that Atsumu and 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅, of all people, would have to work together. Atsumu isn't sure if Rin suggested it on purpose to pay him back for what he did to him yesterday or whether there is actual logic behind this suggestion. It's probably a combination of both. He's right though, Atsumu working together with 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 does make sense. But pairing them up is a bit tricky right now, to say the least. Then again, what other couple isn't at the moment? Yes, Kita sighs, not exactly pleased. He's obviously not too fond of the idea but agrees with Suna. That sounds good. No, it doesn't. Atsumu gulps as his eyes fall on 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅. He's staring at the cup of tea in front of him like he wants to murder it. Atsumu can tell he hates the idea, and well, he isn't exactly thrilled about it either. But this is not about what Atsumu likes. This is about finding Osamu and doing it as fast as possible. After all, Atsumu has somehow survived the last few weeks with SakuAtsu, so he'll be fine. He can either ignore him or have some fun and bug him. It's okay. Or maybe he'll just get killed during the mission, so he won't be a problem for Atsumu anymore. That would be great. Gone in a flash. Easy. Let's go then, Suna suggests but is held back by Kita. I wanna talk to you alone for a sec first. Rin and Atsumu frown, but he nods in agreement. Atsumu wonders what it is that Kita can't discuss with him being present. Then he remembers that SakuAtsu is here too and figures it's perhaps because of him. Alright, Omi and I will head out. We'll keep in touch. Suna nods and Atsumu looks at SakuAtsu, shuddering. He wonders how he can still live when the bastard is staring at him like he's able to kill him. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. Atsumu arriving in Osaka in one piece, breathing and alive, is a miracle. The fact that SakuAtsu drives both his car and his bike like a deranged person is no longer a surprise. This time, however, Atsumu is sure that he wanted to get rid of the assassin and make it look like an accident. With his heart beating fast and strong in his throat, Atsumu prowls the alleys of Osaka with his tormentor following closely behind. He keeps telling himself that he's still worked up over the ride, not over SakuAtsu in general or the fact that they haven't exchanged a single word since last night. It doesn't stop Atsumu from talking crap, no. But usually, SakuAtsu would at least make some stupid comment about how much he'd like Miya to shut up. This time, however, he simply ignores him, causing a dull feeling in Atsumu's stomach. He is angry. Atsumu isn't dense, of course, he knows that. But just the fact that SakuAtsu is mad pisses Atsumu off to no end. He has no right to be furious. Not SakuAtsu, no. He doesn't have the fucking right. I'll let Tsunarin know we're here. Did you tell Oko about the mission? They're almost on the top floor of a high-rise building with the best view of Nariaki's men. Omimi and Jinjima did a really good job finding their hideout in an arcade, accessed only through the main entrance or through a backyard bordered by winding alleys and buildings. A view on it is almost impossible, but still detectable for Inarizuki's assassins. SakuAtsu kneels at the window holding his sniper rifle and observes the situation while Atsumu leans against the wall, fiddling with his phone to shoot Suna a message. He ignores Atsumu once again and doesn't bother to take his eyes off the visor. When Atsumu locks his phone and raises his gaze, he lifts an eyebrow and snorts, fed up with SakuAtsu's behavior. And you always say I'm the immature one. Excuse me? Oh, it seems like this got SakuAtsu's attention. He has turned his head in Atsumu's direction, glaring at him with hatred swirling in his eyes. These dark, ice-cold orbs that hold nothing but death send shivers down Atsumu's spine. Ya heard me, Atsumu taunts, tucking his phone away and crossing his arms in front of his chest. Ignoring me like some snotty toddler. Oh yeah? I wasn't the one acting like a bitch. Atsumu's eyes widen, his mouth goes slack. What the fuck did SakuAtsu just call him? Run that by me again. His arms drop on each side of his body, shock is written all over his face. Atsumu blinks a few times, having to process what the fuck just happened. He must have gotten it wrong, right? What did SakuAtsu just call him? You heard me, he answers with venom dripping in his voice, and oh if that doesn't make Atsumu's blood boil. The fuck's that supposed to mean? The blonde scowls, heartbeat ringing in his ears. He's pissed. God, he's so pissed. What the hell does SakuAtsu want from him? It's like Suna said, he looks at Atsumu as if he wants him so desperately yet as if that's exactly the worst thing in the world. He's holding back and yet he's jealous. Why? He doesn't have the fucking right to act like that toward Atsumu when he keeps pushing him away. So, why should he be feeling like that? Atsumu doesn't understand. You claimed to be so clever the other day. I bet you'll figure it out. What? 'Cause you got a problem with Tsunarin and me? SakuAtsu scoffs and stands up, taking a few steps toward Atsumu. His dark eyes consume Atsumu's fire, his gaze so gloomy and cold it makes the assassin shiver. The aura SakuAtsu radiates is threatening and dangerous, but Atsumu isn't intimidated by it at all, quite the opposite. SakuAtsu's jealousy only frustrates him and makes him so incredibly furious. I wonder why Suna lets you even pull this shit. What shit? Atsumu snaps, raising his voice furiously. If he really felt that way, then Atsumu needed to hear it. SakuAtsu huffs a laugh, turning away and shaking his head. You can't be seriously playing dumb now of all times, he mutters, his gaze bores back into Atsumu, his expression obviously upset. I know you're not exactly mentally up to the mark, but not even you can be that stupid. Sure, Omi. Go on and insult me, Atsumu jeers. But do you ever hear yourself? Or is your head so far up your ass that it's no longer possible? I'm not the one walking around hitting on everyone just because I've been a needy bitch in heat ever since my partner disappeared. Don't you realize how pathetic you are, Miya? I am pathetic? You're such a fucking lunatic, Omi. We were all drunk and wah. Yes, 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 snaps and shuts Atsumu up, stepping even closer. Because you had the brilliant idea to pour us shot after shot. Don't you dare blame the liquor for your fucking actions and wiggle your way out of this. Out of what? Ha. Atsumu hisses. It will be a miracle if they actually don't end up killing each other. Who the fuck do you think you are? You think you're better than me, judge each of my actions when you should take a look at yourself first. Holy shit, Omi, you're fucking delusional. Atsumu wants to scream. He feels the desperate need to scream so loud that the ground underneath him trembles and every fucking building in Osaka starts to shake. There is so much anger within him. So much rage and fear and sorrow and grief. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 frustrates him. Every little part about him frustrates Atsumu so much, he wants to rip his hair, then 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅's too, punch his face, and then kiss those stupid lips silly and foo. I don't think I'm better than you, it's a fucking given that I am. Because unlike you, I know how to behave, Mia. Whatever your way is to pity yourself for your partner, that's not it. Right now you're a complete asshole who seems like he can't keep it in his pan. Cause you behave like you have a stick up your ass, that's what you do. I'm not throwing myself around like some jerk, I never fucking did that, and even if I did, if it really bothered you so damn much, you could have done something about it, you coward. Atsumu hates him. He wants to touch him. He craves him. But it's impossible. Not 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅. The latter scoffs. You can't even own up to your own stupid and thoughtless actions. Not only did you let your partner get lost, no, you decided that it's okay to enjoy yourself in the meantime until you pick up the dead body of your oh so loved one. Can't you see it? Are you that mentally limited? Watch it, 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅, Atsumu grits. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 hits him where it hurts the most and it stings. It's always easier to dish it out than to take it. Especially for those who are so easy to get hurt. Atsumu knows just how provocative he has been. Of course, he hoped to elicit some kind of reaction from 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅, and now he's here getting just that. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 may seem quiet and reserved most of the time, but Atsumu knows that deep down he's seething at least as much as the assassin does. And now that he gets his reaction, it pisses Atsumu off even more. Because this time he is the one who has to take it. He is the one who is confronted with words that reflect his fears and anxieties, which he has always pushed away because he never wanted to vocalize them. Atsumu was hoping that 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅's walls would start to crumble, but all he has managed to do is strengthen them, so now he's firing against him. This is no longer about what either of them might feel, or shouldn't feel. This is about something more profound, something that is none of 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅's business in the first place. The latter continues, I know what it's like to lose a loved one. Acting like a needy bitch in heat was never on the list of things you do when you're grieving for someone. You truly are the worst, Mia. You probably don't even want to find your partner alive, just so you can get away with throwing yourself at everyone who's out of their mind. Atsumu scoffs and invades 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅's space. He presses his index finger into the latter's chest to emphasize his point, letting the rage in his eyes, in himself, unleash. You think you're so almighty, huh? You think the world revolves around you and your stupid little princess behavior. Atsumu grits his teeth. Fix your fucking attitude, 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅, or I will fix it for you. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 slaps Atsumu's hand away and glares at him. At least I don't fuck around with everyone with that princess attitude of mine, now do I? What in God's name is your fucking problem? My problem. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 snaps. You are my fucking problem. You act like your partner means so much to you, like you'll do anything to find them, when in truth you are just a selfish asshole. Why don't you stop pretending, Mia? In the end, you are just another narcissistic assassin that. Me? Narcissistic? Atsumu scoffs. The fuck would you know, Omi? Ha. I care about the people I work with. I would risk my life for all of them, okay? You should just shut up if you have no idea what you're actually talking about. My partner does mean a lot to me, so back off with whatever bullshit argument you're trying to use. You sure seem to give a fuck about whoever he is. So much that you're here without him, drinking shots and grinding on other people's laps. Oh fuck off, really? Atsumu runs his hand through his hair as he turns away from 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅, shaking his head. He scowls at him as he faces him again. He is so damn close to losing it. I've fucking had it with you. For a moment they just stay silent, trying to kill each other with their gazes. Atsumu doesn't have to let this bastard bother him. He has no fucking idea what he's talking about. Everything could have turned out differently if 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 had just gone back to watch Nariaki's men, if they quietly completed the mission, and returned to Sendai without uttering another word. Everything could have been different if 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 hadn't decided to open his fucking mouth again. You risk your life for the people you work with. 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆𝒅 scoffs. Do you even listen to the bullshit you're saying? You are so clumsy at your work, and it trails behind you like bloodstains that follow you wherever you go. Not only did you lose your partner Osamu, no, you almost cost us Hinata's life, too. You really are a sucker for repeated mistakes, huh? You haven't learned a thing, have you? Suna's words echo in Atsumu's mind. Has he really learned nothing from the past? Is he really making the same mistakes over and over again? Is that the reason why he can't find Osamu? Because Atsumu might just be a failure? Someone who keeps screwing things up, who can't do anything right? It doesn't take a genius to see the gaps in your terrible work. You put everyone in danger except yourself, like the selfish asshole that you are. SakuAtsu huffs a sarcastic laugh. Oh Mia, at this point, I'm starting to think this is a personality trait of yours, letting allies slip through your fingers like fucking melted snow. Melting snow, red spider lilies unfurling around Atsumu. His dream. Abandoning Rin. Losing Osamu. Atsumu frowns and closes his eyes. Is it true? So far, nothing good has ever happened to anyone close to Atsumu. His mother passed away, Osamu was kidnapped, and he almost lost his best and maybe only friend Rin. Is it all Atsumu's fault? Would they all have been better off without him? Doesn't Atsumu already know the answer to that? Do you really think he's missing, Mia? Atsumu's eyes snap up, his frown still chiseled onto his face. What? You're so confident it wasn't your reckless way of doing things? You blame everyone else but yourself when there isn't a single soul here who deserves the blame more than you do. What if he tried to get away from you? What if he got sick of you? I could bet my whole life he's not even missing. If anything, it's escapism to get away from a ticking bomb like you. Atsumu feels so much anger and hatred at SakuAtsu's words that it almost tears him apart. He has absolutely no idea what he is talking about. Since they were kids, they were always together. Osamu was always at Atsumu's side and vice versa. The inseparable twins. They were going to restart their goddamn lives in Osaka, so why would his brother want to leave him? It was Osamu who saved Atsumu 2 years ago when he was shot. It was Osamu who told him just before he lost consciousness what an idiot Atsumu was and that he would handle the situation, that he wouldn't let him die. It was Osamu who risked his own life for the one of his brother. And now he's gone. Gone, with no sign of life. What if he just couldn't stand being with you anymore and doesn't even want you to find him? It was the straw that broke the camel's back. Atsumu grabs SakuAtsu's collar and slams his back against the wall. In the movement, he pulls Osamu's knife from the sheath on his belt and jabs it into the wooden panel right next to SakuAtsu's face. One wrong move and it would have cost his ear. SakuAtsu looks at him with wide startled eyes. I told you to fucking watch it, Kyumi. I don't give two shits about what you think or say about me, but don't you dare claim my brother would abandon me because he would not. He would never. The assassin grits his teeth. It was Atsumu who begged him not to go. But how much could he do when his body was practically incapable of doing anything? He was sweating, he was bleeding, he almost died because he underestimated his mark. Atsumu has never seen so much panic and fear in his brother's eyes. Never has it been so clear to him as it was then that Osamu is all he had. And Atsumu was all Osamu had. They would never have left each other voluntarily. Any idiot could see that. Anyone who knew them was aware of that. You don't know shit about me or my family and believe me, I won't hold back stabbing my twin's goddamn knife into your fucking neck if you keep talking that kind of bullshit. Atsumu snaps, the grip on the handle of the knife is tight. SakuAtsu must have been surprised by Atsumu's attack, he doesn't manage to move or utter another word. He underestimated him. All this time he hasn't seen what Atsumu is truly capable of, and that's what's got him into this predicament right now. Because there's nothing he can do but let Atsumu's fist in his collar pin him against the wall and feel the metal of the blade next to his cheek as a threat not to add any more fuel to the fire. His dark eyes are wide open, his pupils dilated, his face even paler than it already is. Atsumu knows his outburst came as a surprise, but he was tired of being treated this way by SakuAtsu. Tired of being constantly underestimated. Tired of hearing the truth. SakuAtsu swallows thickly as Atsumu's fiery eyes begin to burn him. He is silent as if the whole argument hadn't happened before. Atsumu notices that something in his gaze has changed. Notices that he's trying to process. Your brother? He finally asks, quietly, confused, and Atsumu snaps back. Yes, my brother. Do ya have any fucking problem with that too? It's as if domino after domino were falling, as if they were revealing a picture that was unrecognizable before, as if SakuAtsu is starting to connect the dots. Atsumu's muscles tremble from the firm grip and anger that he is now slowly, so slowly letting go of the longer he watches Kyumi. As if a door has been opened for him. As if everything suddenly made sense. And now they are exactly where they were before. Now Atsumu starts to understand why SakuAtsu held back. Why he had been so hesitant. Oh, how stupid they both are. Osamu is my brother, Atsumu grumbles softly. It's a chance. And Rin was close to him, was something like his fucking boyfriend. Well, that's not entirely true. Suna was in fact never Osamu's boyfriend. But it's what Atsumu would refer to him as, considering how close his best friend and his brother always seemed to be. They were fooling around, yes. But it never became more than that. Atsumu can see the confusion in SakuSa's gaze slowly begin to dissipate. Can see how new questions arise. Questions that only SakuSa himself can answer because for Atsumu each of them is already clear. I was mad at him, Omi. I was mad because he treated my brother like shit. I was mad because you were holding back. Please don't hold back anymore. That doesn't give you the right to behave like that. SakuSa didn't come up with anything better. He frowns, eyes darting back and forth between Atsumu's golden ones, his breathing shallow. It's wrong. They are enemies. They both know that. And yet. This isn't any more about how I behaved or what kind of shit I pulled. Atsumu withdraws the knife from the wall and slides the blade along SakuSa's shoulder up to his throat. He murmurs, holding his gaze resolutely before his golden eyes dip to Kiyumi's perfect red lips. We both know I did this because of you. SakuSa stares at him with wide cautious eyes, a sliver of hunter green glinting in the sun's evening glow. To rile me up, he states, and Atsumu watches his Adam's apple bounce up and down as he swallows thickly. Of course, SakuSa caught on. Atsumu didn't doubt that he would grasp things quickly. To rile you up, Atsumu echoes, unable to take his eyes off those damn lips. I wanna kiss you. I need to taste you. Please. Please let me. Atsumu, SakuSa utters, causing his gaze to snap up. His pupils are so blown out that Atsumu can't see where they blend with his black iris. His look seems just as frustrated as Atsumu has felt all these last fucking days. The furrow between his brows reveals that he wants Atsumu at least as much and yet he's still hesitant. Atsumu frowns and inhales sharply. Ya really do want me, he says. And you hate it. He changes the angle of his knife, so it's against SakuSa's neck. He doesn't look nearly as alarmed by the cold metal pressed against his skin as Atsumu might expect. Not nearly as alarmed as when Atsumu brings his mouth to Kiyumi's. Why? Atsumu whispers, close enough so that he can feel SakuSa exhaling. You can. No, SakuSa says, not very convincingly. He exhales shakily. It makes Atsumu's head spin. Why not? Atsumu wants. Oh, he wants him so badly. We shouldn't. SakuSa cuts himself off, eyes trained on Atsumu's plump lips, mouth opening a little wider to pant out a single breath, to invite him for a kiss. I do, Atsumu admits, impatient to close the gap. Kiyumi's breath is hot on his lips. He's right there, so fucking close. I do want you, Omi. Can I? Can I kiss you? Please let me kiss you. He doesn't have a chance to answer Atsumu because just as they were about to feel each other, the door slams open, pulling them both out of their stupor. With their heads jerking in that direction, Atsumu yanks the knife away from SakuSa and prepares to throw it at the intruder while SakuSa's hands are instantly on his gun. They pause, however, realizing that it's Suna standing in the doorway, glowering at them. Ah, shit. Jeez, Rin. Atsumu swallows hard, sheaves Osamu's knife again, and tries to calm his heart. What the hell are you two doing? Suna snaps, irritated. Atsumu averts his gaze. He mutters, nothing. He glances to the side for a split second and can downright feel how tense SakuSa is, yet avoids his eyes. Suna scowls back and forth between the two but decides to let it slip. He doesn't have time for their bullshit right now. Naruki, he begins. I found him. What? Atsumu asks, dumbfounded, whipping his head up. Suna turns around. He's here. Dash. Naruki is located in a warehouse next to the arcade. The view is limited and in fact only accessible from a skyscraper somewhat away. There, SakuSa guards and watches the back of Suna and Atsumu. His sniper rifle would do more at this range than Suna's bow and arrow. Just before the two assassins arrive at their destination, however, Suna grabs Atsumu's collar and yanks him aside to push him against the wall of a side alley, hissing at him. You're cooperating with fucking Yakuza. Atsumu's eyes widen, his heart slipping into the pit of his stomach. Well. This was unexpected. What? He asks, a little taken aback, because how the hell would Suna? Oh, shit. Kita-san, Atsumu then realizes, swallowing hard. 𝒂𝒏𝒈? Have you lost your mind, Atsumu? Kita-san knows. It's not a question. It's more like a statement. The realization that Atsumu is fucked. Of course, he knows. What did you expect? That he wouldn't notice? That he wouldn't figure it out? Fuck, Atsumu, what the hell is wrong with you? Kita has a very select group of contacts who meet him at his bar, and through a series of coded comments, give him work that pays a hell of a lot more than getting pathetic alcoholics to sleep. He passes the work on to his assassins, making sure that they are never exposed to danger themselves if a client ever comes after one of them. It's no wonder, then, that Kita is incredibly well connected. Finding out who 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒆� really belongs to must have been a piece of cake. How could Atsumu have been so naive? Suddenly, Kita's behavior toward Kayumi during their first encounter makes sense. He knew. He knew it back then already. It's stupid. Suna whisper yells. You're so incredibly stupid. Ikuo helps me. Atsumu defends himself. At what cost? Suna's grip tightens. At what fucking cost, Atsumu? Do I need to remind you how that ended with your own mother? Getting involved with fucking Yakuza? It's not the same, Rin. She never managed to get away from them. She never did, and look where it got her. Fuck. Suna tears his hand from Atsumu and runs it through his hair while turning away. No one manages to get away from them until they end up in a tomb. Atsumu, you of all should know this as well as I do, and now you're here and all you can think of is to fall in love with one of them? A stab goes through Atsumu's heart. He narrows his eyes. What? His voice is quiet. Shaky. He's not. I know the look you're giving Sakusa. Atsumu. Rin clenches his jaw, turning back to his best friend with a pained expression. It's the same look Samu gave me. Atsumu's stomach is churning. Sakusa is his enemy. He just wants to see him break. Right. They're not. Stop it. Whatever you're fucking doing or thinking or wanting to do, fucking stop it, Atsumu. Suna grabs his chin and forces Atsumu's golden eyes up to him. The usually serene green of his fox eyes now rages with despair and fear and anxiety. Atsumu knows what Rin is thinking. They are both here. They are both looking for Osamu. They can do it without any help. But he is wrong. He is so fucking wrong. Suna has no idea. The latter sighs and loosens the grip on Atsumu's chin. His gaze is still raging. Now get into position and don't fuck this up. I will search for Osamu, but I won't look for you. I'm worried about you. I can't lose you too. He has no idea that Ikuo isn't the person Suna thinks he is. Has no idea that he didn't act selfishly for once. Has no idea that not all of Yakuza should be lumped together. Because they aren't all like the miserable pigs they usually have to deal with, no. Ikuo's gang is different. But what if Atsumu is in truth the naive one? Because in the end he keeps telling himself, they are enemies. So, who does he really want to defend? Ikuo's Yakuza? Himself? Or his denied crush on the hot guy he's only so obsessed with because Atsumu knows he can never have him? Because it could never work out? Because they are enemies? I hate you, Rin. I'm worried about you too. You're the only one left. For now, Atsumu doesn't know. Kita-san is worried. Suna looks around to make sure that still no one hears them. He said I should keep an eye on you and Sakusa while we're here. Atsumu frowns, watching Rin get into position and peek around the corner. I'm the last person he should worry about. And yet you are always going to be the first. Suna turns to him. You know how much you mean to him. Both of you. You and Osamu. Atsumu stares at the ground, lips pressed into a thin line. Kita has always had a soft spot for the twins and of course, he knows how fucked up Yakuza can be. And isn't he the one who must have known Ikuo's Yakuza best? Maybe they were all right. For sure even. And yet. It's not like I'm gonna join them or whatever. We use each other for our own purposes. I in fact more than they use me. So, there's nothing to worry about. We'll find Samu and then I'll never see them again. And what about Sakusa? Atsumu's chest feels tight, breathing becomes difficult. What should be about Sakusa? He's one of them. Atsumu pulls Osamu's knife from its sheath and pushes himself in front of Rin. Let's go. Talking about it further would mean that Atsumu would have to come to terms with his feelings, and that's something he doesn't want to do. So, he rather throws himself into what he does best, turn off his mind and fight. He can't afford to think about Kayumi right now. About his perfect lips. About his hot breath on Atsumu's mouth. About this fucking deep desire to kiss him, to taste him, to devour him. The assassin shakes his head and scrubs a hand over his face, feeling Suna's skeptical gaze drilling into his mind. Focus, damn it. You've got a job to do. They don't talk about it any further. It's something Atsumu appreciates so much about his best friend. That he knows when to shut up. Adrenaline is beginning to drip into his veins, and his heart speeds up as he emerges from the alley and sneakily takes out one guard after another to clear his way to the warehouse. Each cut, each knife thrown, is so precise that it doesn't make the slightest sound. Suna operates from behind, using his bow to eliminate those who could be dangerous to Atsumu, and somewhere in the back, Sakusa must see them, too. Look at me, Atsumu thinks. Keep your eyes on me and behold what I am capable of. An arrow finds the chest of a henchman, a ribbed blade finds the neck of another before he has a chance to say anything. Lifeless bodies fall silently to the ground. It's like a dance that only Atsumu and Suna know. Their interaction harmonizes perfectly, taking out their opponents has never been easier. Anyone Atsumu didn't catch in time, Suna would take over. Anyone who got too close to Suna, Atsumu would finish off before they even had a chance to reach him. It's blind trust. A well-rehearsed team. With Suna, everything is easy. Almost everything. There weren't many guards they had to get out of their way. Apparently not many decided to join Naruki. When they entered the warehouse, there was nothing inside except for a man who had placed himself on top of some boxes and looked like he was awaiting Suna and Atsumu. The two walk toward him with silent steps, tucking their weapons away when they notice the man is unarmed. How foolish, Atsumu thinks at first. Then he frowns as a second thought pops up. Why isn't he fighting us? What an irony, Naruki laughs humorlessly. Aren't you Miyu Atsumu? Naruki. Atsumu stops just in front of him, gives him a down up, and tucks his hand in his pockets. Where is my brother? So, he really sent you to kill me, huh? Naruki shakes his head and ignores Atsumu's question, then looks back and forth between him and Suna. Daisho wants me dead? Suna nods, furrowing his brow. What about my men outside? Naruki asks. Dead, Suna states calmly, observing him with cautious eyes. And those across from the arcade? Both Atsumu and Suna frown. Those who could be with Kyumi. Atsumu's stomach drops. Probably dead, too, Suna replies, quite able to judge SakuAtsu's power correctly. He's right. SakuAtsu is perfectly capable of handling anyone on his own, and Atsumu is pretty sure that even the number of opponents wouldn't matter to him. Still, he doesn't have a good feeling about it. I see, Naruki gets up and stands in front of Atsumu and Suna. It's brave of them, isn't it? Unlike Daisho, they believe me and follow me even to the bitter end. We all knew it would hit us sooner or later. And yet they do not hesitate to defend me. You two haven't made the slightest sound, I'm really impressed. Where's my brother? Atsumu repeats to cut his shit. He has no idea what Naruki is talking about. Not with me. No shit. No, Naruki huffs a laugh. Listen, Atsumu. You have the wrong man. Rumor has it that Osamu is with Ya. Rumors spread fast if you start them right. Naruki opens his jacket and pulls out a pack of cigarettes. He puts one between his lips and lights it, taking a deep drag and blowing the smoke to the side. You're going to kill me. That's your job, it's what my Q-Micha ordered. My life was over the moment Daisho lost his trust in me, I am aware of that. He takes another drag and smiles half pained, half relieved. But let me finish this one, alright? If Osamu isn't with you, then who the hell got him? Atsumu asks confused. Naruki laughs bitterly. Someone who wants me out of the way because I'm on their trail. Someone who probably truly wants to get his hands on Daisho. Someone he trusts more than he trusts me. Atsumu and Suna frown as Naruki returns the pack of cigarettes and fumbles in his inner pocket. He pulls out a photo and gives it to Atsumu. The latter frowns and draws his eyebrows together. His stomach is churning, his throat is getting dry. Atsumu feels his heartbeat hammering in his throat, feels dizzy, feels his body starting to tremble. He swallows thickly as he observes the photo closely. All he can see is a man with blonde hair whom Atsumu doesn't know and a very lively Miyu Osamu. His brother. His twin. The blonde man urges Osamu to get into a car while he checks his surroundings. Atsumu can't tell anything about his brother's condition. What the fuck? He whispers, barely audible. Who's this? Suna asks, almost pissed. Atsumu's eyes are glued to the photo, searching for any clue. Terashima Yuji, Naruki snorts. Daisho's right-hand man. I'm sure he's up to something but I couldn't figure out what. I've been on his trail for months ever since I noticed something was wrong. Now that I've found out he's dealing with one of your assassins, he wants me out of his way. Naruki laughs grimly and shakes his head. He must have buttered up Daisho as quickly as he convinced him that I was plotting something against him. And where is Terashima now? Suna asks, definitely annoyed. Probably back in Fukuoka Prefecture. The picture was taken here in Osaka, but that was already a month ago. And why should we trust you? Atsumu asks skeptically. Why wouldn't you mislead us? Who says you don't have something to do with this? Terashima? Oh, trust me, Terashima is the last person I would team up with. You don't have to believe me, Naruki admits. But right now I have nothing left to lose, and someone has to take this bastard down if I can't do it. Atsumu stares at the photo. If you choose to believe me, Naruki takes the last drag before flicking the cigarette to the ground and stubbing it out. Then think about how you're going to finish him off. You shouldn't blindly invade Daisho's territory, or it will end badly for you. My Q-Micha won't tolerate you just like that. Why didn't you just kill him yourself? Suna asks angrily. Naruki snorts. If I was capable of doing that, I would have done it long ago. Believe me. You could help us, it slips out of Atsumu's mouth. Abso-fucking-lutely not, Suna snaps and pulls out a knife. Why? Because he's fucking Yakuza. And yet he just helped us find Osamu. We were hired to kill him, Tsumu. No one needs to know that. Inarizaki would be in fucking danger if word got spread. Right. Kita, Aaron, Suna, everyone from Inarizaki would be in trouble. An assassin is hired to kill his target. Once he accepts the contract, he is obligated to do so. Atsumu knows the fucking rules. He is right. Nariaki butts in and takes off his tie. You know everything I know anyway. I wouldn't be any help to you anymore. And Nariaki swallows, his Adam's apple jumping. I know how to die with dignity. My time is over. My men are dead. And so should I be. Atsumu frowns, not able to take his eyes off Nariaki. They stand in tense silence. Atsumu's spine tingles and his stomach twists. There's no turning back, and everyone present in this room knows that, but he can't find the words to put Nariaki on his knees and can't bring himself to just raise his knife and be done with it. Of course, he often spoke to his victims beforehand. Sometimes he just killed them. But never has one of his marks helped him get to his actual target. Never has a victim been so insightful, so resolute. In front of them, Nariaki gets on his knees and stares up at Atsumu and Suna. It's okay. I am ready. This is so fucked up. This is so wrong. He is none of the bad guys. Since Atsumu doesn't move from the spot, Suna takes a step forward and holds Nariaki's gaze. Nariaki nods at him and not a second later the sharp blade in Suna's grip slices through his throat. A quick slit on the jugular. The quickest and most painless way. Atsumu shuts his eyes, frowns, and turns his head to the side, fists tucked away in his jacket pockets. Nariaki bleeds and turns unconscious within seconds. He's dead within minutes. You're fucking ridiculous, Tsumu. Ridiculous to get involved with those he's always mistrusted. Ridiculous to put his own life in their hands. Ridiculous to think there are good people among them. My ridiculousness has brought us here. Your ridiculousness will get you killed. Suna scoffs. You will end up like your mother. So what? Atsumu bites back and digs his fist into Suna's collar. Suna doesn't fight back. Don't be so stupid, Tsumu. I'm worried about you. Atsumu inhales and exhales in brisk, deep breaths. He remains silent, staring with fury into Suna's eyes. Eyes that seem to be nothing but worried. Guess you'll have to beat each other up if you don't get harmed any other way, huh? Neither Suna nor Atsumu has noticed that SakuAtsu has arrived at the warehouse and is walking toward them. Their surprised glances snap at him. Atsumu lets go of Suna and frowns. God, this guy really does act like a fucking assassin. However, the closer SakuAtsu gets to them, the more Atsumu notices how disheveled he looks. He looks paler than usual, his curls ruffled, and Atsumu almost didn't notice but blood is trickling down his left temple, hardly visible beneath his dark curls. Blood? Something in Atsumu's stomach twists as he watches SakuAtsu. It's strange. SakuAtsu doesn't let anyone get that close to him, so he's always cautious enough to avoid that. Were there too many opponents after all? Omi, you look flawless, I know. Can we? Atsumu catches SakuAtsu just as his legs go weak and his head was about to kiss the ground. There, handsome. Where do ya think you're going? Let fucking go of me, Mia. You're fucking bleeding, Omi. SakuAtsu stares pissed off into Atsumu's eyes but doesn't bother to fight back and lets him hold him. Atsumu watches him, spotting a soft film of pink sitting high on his cheeks. Maybe he caught a fever? Atsumu should patch him up. Rin, he starts. His gaze is fixed firmly on SakuAtsu's. Let Kita know about the news, and I'll take care of Omi. Atsumu would have expected some resistance from Suna, but all he gets is a bump against his shoulder as he walks past him and catches him mumbling, "Do what the hell you want." Atsumu needs to catch their balance to avoid tumbling over together with SakuAtsu, shooting Rin an infuriated look before turning back to SakuAtsu. I'll drive us to your apartment. Can you hold on to me? Mia, I'm fine. Cut that bullshit, Omi. Can you or can you not? SakuAtsu's eyes dart back and forth between Atsumu's, a frown chiseled deep into his face. He sucks in a sharp breath before nodding and answering in an even voice. I can. Good. Atsumu swallows. Then let's fucking go.